Imagine an army so secret that even the soldiers fighting beside it never knew it existed. An army with no heavy weapons, no tanks of their own, and no intention to fire a single real bullet. Yet this mysterious unit saved thousands of lives, confused entire German divisions, and helped win World War II by doing something no other army dared to attempt. They fought with art, sound, deception, and pure creativity. This is the unbelievable true story of the Ghost Army. Road to 100 subscribers. Please subscribe and like. It means a lot to me. World War II was a war of destruction. Nations threw millions of soldiers, tanks, aircraft, and bombs into the battlefield. But hidden behind the chaos, the United States created something completely different. A secret group of artists, sound engineers, painters, designers, and illusion creators recruited from universities and advertising agencies. Most of them had never held a real rifle. Yet they would become one of the most dangerous weapons of the war. This was the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. But the soldiers who knew about them used a different name. They called them the Ghost Army. In 1944, the Allied forces had landed in France. Every day, they pushed toward Germany, but the fighting was brutal. The Germans were experts at reading troop movement. They could predict attacks, identify weak spots, and strike with deadly precision. So the United States needed something radical, something unpredictable, something that would distract entire German divisions and pull their attention away from the real Allied forces. The plan was bold. Create a fake army that looked real, sounded real, and even left footprints like a real army. An army that could convince German intelligence that thousands of men and machines were gathering in places where only a handful of Ghost Army soldiers stood. If they failed, the Germans would discover the lie, attack, and kill them immediately. If they succeeded, they would save thousands of real Allied troops without ever firing a shot. When the young artists and designers were recruited, they thought it was a joke. Many of them were art students from New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia. Some were fashion designers. Some were sound engineers who worked on concerts. Some were billboard painters. They imagined they would make posters or draw maps. Instead, they were handed a top-secret mission with strict instructions. Never tell anyone what you do, not even fellow American soldiers. Not a single word. They trained in silence, learned how to build illusions, and mastered a new kind of warfare. A warfare of imagination. The Ghost Army used inflatable tanks. Yes, inflatable tanks. Rubber tanks and rubber artillery cannons designed so perfectly that from a distance and from the air, they looked completely real. A small team could carry one tank, unfold it, and pump it full of air in minutes. In a single night, the Ghost Army could create an entire tank battalion that appeared ready for battle. German scouts would fly overhead, take photos, and report back that American forces were gathering in massive numbers. The truth was that only a few dozen Ghost Army soldiers were standing among hundreds of rubber machines. Visual illusions were only the beginning. The Ghost Army used sound to bring their fake armies to life. Engineers recorded real tanks, trucks, and artillery from the battlefields, then created massive speakers capable of projecting the sounds across 15 miles. They mixed soundtracks like musicians. The clanking of metal, the rumble of engines, the voices of officers shouting orders. At night, they played these sounds toward German lines. To the enemy, it felt as if thousands of troops were arriving. The reality was that the speakers were sitting on trucks operated by artists pretending to be generals. The Germans would shift their forces, reposition their tanks, and prepare for an attack that never came. One of the most impressive deceptions happened near the Rhine River in 1945. The real Allied army planned to cross the river in one location. If the Germans discovered this, thousands of soldiers could die. So the Ghost Army stepped in. They created a huge fake army miles away from the real crossing point. Inflatable tanks appeared overnight. Dummy radio operators sent fake transmissions. Artists painted fake division markings on empty trucks. And sound crews blasted the audio tracks of tank brigades moving into position. German spies watched and reported a massive American force preparing to cross the river. They redirected their strongest divisions to face the illusion. Meanwhile, the real Allied army crossed the river almost unopposed. That single deception saved countless lives and allowed the Allies to push deeper into Germany. The Ghost Army performed more than 20 operations, each one risking discovery. They worked close to the front lines. They watched real soldiers march into battle while they stayed behind with rubber tanks and speakers. They knew that one mistake could expose them. One German scout could spot a tank deflating in the wind. One soldier could notice an illusion out of place. One wrong sound could reveal the trick. But their work remained flawless. Their illusions were perfect. They fooled the German army again and again until the war ended. Even after victory, their work was not celebrated. Their mission was buried in classified files. No medals, no applause, no credit. They were ghosts even after the war. For decades, no one outside the military knew the Ghost Army existed. Families believed their sons were simple radio operators or map makers. Other veterans never knew they had fought alongside an entire unit designed to protect them. The truth finally came out in the 1990s when the Ghost Army files were declassified. Historians were shocked. Documentaries were made. Surviving members finally spoke about their secret missions. And the world realized something powerful. These young artists saved thousands of lives not with violence, but with creativity. The story of the Ghost Army shows that war is not always won by the strongest soldier or the biggest gun. Sometimes it is won by imagination, by illusion, by courage from people who were never expected to become heroes. They were painters, sculptors, designers, and engineers. But when the world needed them, they became warriors of deception. They stepped into danger armed with nothing but rubber tanks, wooden cannons, and sound machines. And they shaped the course of the war in a way no one could have predicted. The Ghost Army is a reminder that heroes come in unexpected forms. They do not always stand on the front line. Some fight with creativity. Some fight with intelligence. Some fight with the power to make the enemy believe in something that never existed. It is one of the most extraordinary stories of World War II. A story that stayed hidden for half a century. A story that deserves to be remembered. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more hidden, dark, and unbelievable truths from history. There are countless secrets still waiting to be uncovered.